Shares of Amazon still lower after the results, after the bell for the latest. Let's get to Josh Lipton. He's been listening in on that conference call. Hey, Josh.
So, Melissa, Amazon CFO Brian Olsavsky on the call with analysts. First question right off the bat was on that revenue guidance for that critical holiday quarter. Obviously disappointed. He said, we're excited about the holiday season. They've made rapid progress on one-day shipping. There are some issues, he said, that investors need to be aware of. The timing of certain big holidays in India, the Japanese consumption tax kicking in. It means there's going to be certain headwinds, he said, to international growth, at least in Q4. Company is in investment mode to make good on free one-day shipping. So spent $800 million in each of the last 2 quarters to expand that free one-day delivery program. They spent another $1.5 billion in Q4, but the CFO explained those costs and saying why he thinks it's a smart investment. Says we're very pleased with the customer response to one day, and you can see that, he told analysts, in our revenue acceleration and also in our unit growth acceleration. More spending, though, for AWS as well. In fact, he says we're going to be investing, he says, a lot more this year, in his words, specifically there in Salesforce and marketing personnel. Melissa, back to you.
All right, Josh, thank you. For more reaction to the results, let's bring back in Loop Ventures founder Gene Munster. He's also been on the red phone listening to the conference call. So, Gene, any juicy developments?
Melissa, really 2 developments. One is on that December revenue guide that we talked about being a little bit softer than typical, even their typical soft guide, is that I felt they gave a compelling explanation for that. The number of holiday days in the U.S. this year, they talked about a holiday in India, that timing shifting, and also some taxes starting in Japan that pulled some buying into the September quarter. So I feel like that is something that will, in fact, pass and kind of sets up the March quarter for potential revenue upside, guidance upside. On the opposite end, on the expense end, they talked a lot. The first 3 questions were about one-day delivery, and the CFO mentioned that they're still early in the U.S. and have been investing this quarter $1.5 billion, and they said that we still haven't started the international piece. One-day shipping is working. Unit growth has jumped from 10 to 22% in the last 2 quarters. They will likely roll this out internationally, and I suspect that that is probably setting the table for a year, 2 years of investment mode.
1 to 2 years of investment mode. All right. What's your grade, Gene?
I'm going B-. One-day shipping's working, but didn't yield that top line punch that we really needed. Great company, but I don't see it being a great stock in the near term.
All right, Gene, thank you. Great to see you. Gene Munster of Loop Ventures.
Thank you.
B-. 1 to 2 years of investment. Are you still glass half full?
Yeah, I'm still glass half full because I think we've had these periods with Amazon before. We knew going into these numbers there was a trade-off between one-day prime and margins. Professor Munster, first of all, he teaches a tough class,
yeah,
and I think he's looking at some very difficult issues. Structurally, I think there's nothing wrong here. But I do think I'd be more worried about margins as it relates to AWS, where I think there's going to be a lot of competition in the cloud. And I think that's been a very high margin business for them.
Mark?
Short-term pain for long-term gain, right? So they are spending very heavily right now, but they're strengthening their competitive advantage. And whenever Amazon ratchets up spending, it spooks investors and the stock price comes down. Then in about a year or so, they're going to turn that profit spigot back on and investors are going to come back. Stock's going to go up.